gardens, as the MCE can see there. But our challenges for the past 6 years, whenever we try and ask for support from the department, the one department refers, like example, agriculture, refers us to social development. Social development refers us to the steer, and the steer refers back to the agriculture. So it's a triangle for us as an NPO to have such for the past 5 years. So I just want to ask, when are the policy going to be changed in the Department of Agriculture to support NPOs? From what I've, in the previous response, where the MCE respond to one of the questions here, I like what the MCE said, where the MCE said, the MCE is we're going to go away with people who's been funded every time, like corporates and so on. So my question to the MCE is, when are NPOs going to be funded? Thank you.
Let me see.
Sorry, my brother. Unfortunately, we can't have any more questions. Can you switch off? Can you switch off that mic, please? Thank you. Like I said, Grootman, we unfortunately we are under pressure because of time.
No, we
will
talk to you.
We will talk to you. Thank you. Thank you. We apologize for that. We are really sorry, but we are also, time is also on our side, not on our side. So I'll give the MEC an opportunity to respond to the 3 questions, and just after we are going to take a quick break and come back with a panel discussion. MEC, over to you.
The other issue is that, look, this is life as well. So it's time managed, it's not us, guys. There are millions that we want to reach in the Free State through the live broadcast. So when you read the rules around time, even I obey. So apologies, but we will talk to you. That there were the NPO. If you are looking for seeds and so on, will help you. The issue of gardening tools, we'll look into it, but Jojo tanks and so on. Remember earlier on I said we are dealing with the issue of access to food, particularly nutritional food for our people, growing for subsistence growing. So I don't think it's an issue on our side. You will get an assistance. It really should not be a problem. I've been doing a lot of talking, so this gentleman will have to do some answers. They should not be paid for free. I'll cover what I think they've not really dealt with. Thank you.
Okay, so who do we give the mic first? Questions raised. Okay.
Thank you, MEC. No, I think the most important thing that we should leave this house knowing and that we should take home with is the message that the MEC is giving to young producers first and foremost, but to the general producers in the sector. And that message is, the Department of Agriculture is ready and willing to work with you and do things differently under the leadership of the MEC. Secondly, the message is, those that have been funded for the previous years, agriculture is a business, and when you come to agriculture, expect to show that you are really willing to participate and contribute to the economic growth of the Free State, and not to treat agriculture as charity, or as where you will continuously come and collect checks because there's nothing else that you can do. The third thing that has been said here is that we need to come together. We need to exploit our competitive advantage. We have concluded the agricultural master plan for some time. We have identified critical key projects that can be able to turn the situation around. There's one person here that was speaking about agro-processing and agro-manufacturing. There's another one that has talked about the importance of setting ourselves and creating a fertilizer plant. There's issues around deboning. There's issues about how do we utilize the values that we are producing of potatoes to create our own Simba chips in the Free State. So what we are saying to the young people is, there is more in agriculture except just primary production. We need to move into innovation. We need to move into contract farming. There's people that are sitting with land, but that are not able to utilize that land. Creatively, we need to go to those people and see as to how do we create partnerships, utilize their land, bring our resources, and together make sure that we benefit and we grow the economy of the province. So the message is very clear. The time for agriculture to contribute in the economy of the Free State using young people is now. And everybody needs to come to the party with that understanding, to say we want to utilize the resources, the competitive advantage of the province, and hold hands and make sure that agriculture is fashionable and agriculture contributes to the economy of our province. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's a youth that spoke about funding, or it is expensive and so on. The young ones we will help. Where I was saying we can't help, it's somebody who has been getting millions from the department, and then they come and say, no, please fund our the business plan development, yes. It doesn't make sense, honestly. I can't have a herd of about 100 cattle, and then I can't even sell one to finance the development of a business plan. I want government to finance that. It doesn't make sense. It's not fair, it's wrong actually. It's unethical, it will be immoral to do so. We rather help those that really need that help. And we are using that to say people must invest in their own enterprises. Because if they do that, they will look after it. But if we keep on, it's not going to help us in any way. So those that have got issues to raise with us, please approach us. I think on a daily basis we receive hundreds and hundreds of WhatsApps, and we really refer them. We try to find, we will not respond to you, but we refer. And then there are those who have received responses, not even from me, but from the people in the department to say, you have forwarded the following to the MEC, and then this is the issue. So we're trying our best. This is what I would like to leave as my last message. One of the people we helped is one young white fellow here in Tennyson. Is doing piggery. We gave him the feed. When the department says that we're looking for the type of help we can give as part of the benefit of young people, says, no, kikupela feed. No. Not any other thing else, kikupela feed. Now, the economic politics behind it, it is winter. He's breeding, and he knows that once he can go through winter, the summer is going to be more brighter for him. So he makes a serious choice. And as he makes that serious choice, we are now realizing that we've got an SEZ in Kwakwa that is exporting Namayakulubi. So that fellow, the report says he's buying from the KZN. I want him to buy back from the Free Staters because that is our SEZ. It is an initiative of the Free State government to have it there so that it can benefit us. So we are trying to consolidate the base of suppliers to that SEZ. It will be one of them, and there's about 2 black guys we met with in the areas of Velcom. We are scouting for the numbers so that when we talk about export, we've got a sufficient base to support that export market. There's a meeting with the Chinese on Thursday. We met with the Qatari on, it was last week Thursday in Pretoria. There's Singapore, we've already spoken about it. So there's a lot of export markets we are trying to unlock. And that market has got to be supplied by yourselves. That's why you need to tighten the belt and produce the market required quantities and quality. So when you produce, like I said, I'll produce every day in the morning. You produce for the market, you are running a business. So we don't want to commit to say, give us 500 kettles a month and you don't have that capacity. Or when that happens, it closes out your historically disadvantages or it leaves out young people. We want those foreign earnings. We need them badly as a country. The current account, we're always in trouble with that as a country. But we also need that as Free State. Because we have begun to quantify a county to say how much in foreign earnings is agriculture earning us as a Free State. So we need to look at these areas. We said, as I conclude, that agro-processing, it is within the broad framework that says, how do we use agriculture to grow industry? And how do we get industry to support the consolidation of agriculture? And we said Southern Cross comes into that, within that context. So if you have got the capacity to develop manufacturing plants, platforms that agriculture requires to process its own raw produce, that's what we need to be talking about. You are in the right space. Because we can't say we want to produce, we want to process, but we don't have the required capabilities. So we need those capabilities. So that's why we say we use agriculture to grow industry, but use industry to consolidate agriculture. So we have not left the manufacturing part, otherwise Southern Cross will not be here. And we said if they can, for example, do windmills, water pumps for us, and let's talk to them about how we supply the demand we have in the Free State, because I can't go and buy it in Gauteng when I have it in the Free State. They are employing the Free State people. So I firstly start here, and if there are issues, I rather talk to them. And then go outside when I realize, or no, it is not enough what they can give me, but what do I do as government to deal with that? So I hope you understand the context within which we bring. So in agriculture, you don't have to be a farmer only. There's a lot of new economies that are arising around agriculture. Can we deal with that? And this is where my 2000, as they say, I hope it's not an offensive language, bring innovative ideas. The story of the Silicon Valley. In Qatar, as I close, the program director, they say there's Qatar, there's Germany. During COVID, it is Taiwan that is doing microchips. And Chinese went to buy all of them, and all of a sudden, the demand for the cars, the supply for the newly built cars became a problem because the microchips were not available. So the Germans and the Qatar have decided to do plants that are doing microchips. So go Petin. Thank you very much.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen now is that we are going to go into a 1-minute break. That is for the MEC to have an opportunity to go to the foyer and have an interview with the SABC, and also for the panel that we are going to have in the panel discussion, which is the second segment of this day, to move up on stage. Just before I go to the break, I would like to request Ostepiso Matubako and Date Desmond Mofokeng to come on stage during the break. So we can go to the break. We are asked that we ask you to remain seated. It's just going to be for a minute so that we allow the MEC to have an interview in the foyer. Thank you. Let's just move into the second segment of our program today. I hope that when we earlier on, MEC untsa teng. So let's get our. So let's just move into this second part, right? This is where we are going to have a panel discussion with the 4 professional farmers that you see seated here. But before we do that, I'm one person who likes to complain a lot. And I know and they become go-getters, right? And I've got 2 of them who are going to give us their testimonies. During the June 16 event that was held at the Dr. Rantlai Molemela Stadium, ke bone motho a fumana dikgomo mola, ka bona o mong a fumana a tractor mola. So I want them to come through and give us their testimony just before we move right into the panel discussion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the first person, that is Osepiso Matubako, to come through and give us her testimony. And ladies and gentlemen, can we please give her a round of applause? Can we please sort out a mic? Yeah, just test it. Okay.
Dumelang le kae baholo? Re teng. Ya bua le lona ke Tshepiso Matobako. A nang le dilemo tse 28. Ke batla ho bua ka Sesotho hore le tsebe ho utlwisisa ha MEC a re ho thola o le mona ga o tlosa ga o phahamisa. O ka setle ho department o re nna ke le Tshepiso ke se ke batla ho ba mapolasi ya se ke batla ho jala o tswa kae. Tshepiso Matobako ke ngwana na holetseng Fiesburg, o kene sekolo Fiesburg, primary le secondary. Ha ke qeta matric wa ka ke mo e leng hore ke la ka fetela Qwaqwa Sefikeng ke lo etsa primary agriculture. Taba tse bohloko a di fele ya ba mama o fellwa ke mosebetsi ke khutlela hae ke ba le drop out. Kana hana ka re ha se ke le drop out ho thusang ho dula hae. Batla mosebetsi ka thola mosebetsi restauranteng ka ntle ho lady ka ntle ho Clockland. From mosebetsi o ko thotseng restauranteng, Tshepiso Matobako a re I don't belong here. Ka re I don't belong here. Ka save as much as I can. Ka tipi ene ke thola restauranteng. Ya ba ntse ke save ke be ya kwana. Ke save ke be ya kwana. Hantse ke kena sekolo abutua ka ona na le plasi. Ke tloa from Fiesburg ke ra go Sendala plasing ya abutua ka. Ke lo mothusa yena ke grain farmer. Ke re ha se ke sebetsa ke se ke saveile ke hotse temo e ntse e hola ho nna. Let me start something. Ka stipend se ke se thola le tipi tse ke di tholang. Ke rekile kgomo tsa ka tse 2, ka save, ka ithola ke rekile nku tse 5. Ka tloela mosebetsi, move to Rosendal. Ka 2019, Tshepiso Matobako a kena khosong short course ya animal production. Ka ikopanya le di farmera. Thaka tsaka batho ba holo ha se thaka tsaka. Thaka tsaka ke bontate OJ Masiu le bana ba hae le di member tse ding tsa fasa bo mme Puleng Molaba ke tsona thaka tsaka tse ke la ka ikopanya le tsona. Ke ra ha o le je mme Puleng ke etsa jwang? Hobane ke batla ho change game ya agriculture. Ha ke batla go farma fela ka Sesotho. Ya ba ke kena di short course ke etsa animal production. Ka stipend se ke la ka se thola for khosong eo ka reka di fariki. A matha ngwanana. Ka thola market from di farmera tsa Senegal ka di breedela ha di fihla 3 months ke a di rekisa ka reka di Bosmara tse 6. Ka reka di Bosmara tse 6 ka mathalebelo jwale. Ke na le di nkgomo tse 15. 9 ke mixed breed. E itse ha MEC ya qeta ho tsamaya ka re bale ke a change jwale. ka re ke tšhentšha game ke sa batla motswako ona. MEC o mphile 10 heifers, 1 bull, ne se ke na le 6 bosmara, 9 mixed breed, e nou tjena ke lo e ntsha ke lo etsa di bosmara kaofela. Ke na le dinku hape batswadi, dinku tsa ka ke merino breed. Ha re bua tjena se di 55. Ke na le difariki, ke tšhentšha breed ba difariki. Ha ke qeta ho ntsha tse leng hore nou tjena se di 40 piglets, le 6 sow and 1 bull. Ke a di tšhentšha le tsona, ke di etsa live white, ke tla mane mo MEC itse hare, ho na le motho Qwaqwamane, a etsang ka difariki, re batla hore o kopane le yena, le bona hore na di import avang ka re ke batla hore ha ke ya Department of Agriculture, ke re MEC ke ready ka difariki, breed bo tshwana kaofela. Ke a matha batswadi, nna ke a matha. Nna ke a matha. Ha ke kokota ke kopane le MEC Velkomo ka di 29 tsa March, ebile ke le motjha ke qata ho joina mokgatlo a FASA. Itse ha ke ema ke re MEC ke Tshepiso Matobako, ke tswa go Sindala, nna ke na le dikgomo, ke na le dinku, ke na le difariki. Ebile nne ke mo jwetsa fela ka challenge ya mobu ya masepala. Ha ke a re MEC ke motjha ke qetile sekolo ke dutse hae ke batla ho ba mmapolasi ke itse MEC ke na le no tjena ke a matha batswadi se ke kokotile ke kopane le Land Bank ke re ha ke ya MEC ke re MEC Land Bank ke re mobu ona ke bokana ke kopane hlae ka bokana ke hlae ka bokana se ke kopantse di financial statement everything ha ke tla MEC ke re MEC ke tsena mobu ke batla ya mobu wa ka commercial farmer ntatentambo ke tla ke mathile so bana be se ke leboa Department of Agriculture ke e mong wa motjha kgoding ya batjha a thotseng dikgomo di heifers tse 10 tse pregnant and 1 bull. MEC ke matha ka mora Bosmara SA ke batla hore nna kgomo tsa ka ke di intelligation ke batla market o hodimo e reng hore ka mora 2 years ha nna ke lo rekisa ke batla security se mfeletsang ha ke batle ho ya fela marketong o fast location ke batla hore ha ke tswa rekisa mane ke batla security MEC se mfeletsang le tla mpona hampe batswadi ha ke sa batla mona ke sa batla I'm a small girl but I run with big boys. Ya leboha.
Issue. Wa bona o qeta ho bua motjha no. And I like the fact that she mentioned hore yena wa matha vele. But the part that I like the most is that ha mathe fela she runs with a plan. And wa mutla la ha bua she visualizes the things tsa batlang ho di fihlella. Le ha ya MEC wa re jwetsa hore o ile a santsa tseba o lo reng wa tseba keng tlo ke tlwelle ke space sa bona ke opportunity ya bona without wasting any time someone else who benefited from the Department of Agriculture ke ntate Desmond Mofokeng bra Desmond Mofokeng the stage is yours round of applause.
Good day, everyone. My name is Desmond Mofokeng. I come from Honingfontein Farm in Polru, under the Dihlabi municipality. First and foremost, as I'm standing here, I am a proud graduate of Glen College of Agriculture. I'm a proud graduate of Central University of Technology. I studied animal production at Glen College of Agriculture in 2011 up to 2013, graduated in 2014, and then in 2014, enrolled with Central University of Technology for BTech degree in agricultural management. So, as a young person, as a graduate, my parents have a farm. With the challenges that they had, the farm was not running well. So I thought to myself, what can I do as a graduate to exercise whatever that I have learned from LEN and from CUT. Even though I majored in animal production, I decided to start with vegetables because I thought to myself, let me do what I can with what I have. So I found that vegetable production is not that complicated to start with. So we've decided to plant spinach, pumpkins. In fact, we used to plant various vegetables back at the farm. So when years go by, we decided to, no, let's try to focus on the major vegetables that can generate income and open a market opportunity for us. So in 2020, during those COVID hard times, so we decided to approach the big supermarkets in Bethlehem and in Senegal to give us the market, because before the COVID, we used to sell our products on the streets, and then come the COVID, the lockdown, everything came to stand still. So we decided to approach one of the big supermarkets in Bethlehem, which I cannot name for now, and then they gave us a green light to supply them with spinach. I'm proud to say, from 2020 up to now, we are still supplying that supermarket with spinach. And spinach is now our major product. So we also producing green beans and pumpkins during the summer month. On the 16th of June this year, I also received the tractor, a brand new tractor from Honorable MEC and his department at large, and I must say I am very thankful for that. It's gonna help me a lot. They went to my farm, and then they saw what we are doing, what challenges we are facing. So the tractor is gonna make a huge difference for us at the farm. And I can assure you, MEC, that you will never regret what you have done for me. My plan going forward, like I said, that I studied animal production. My plan going forward is that I'm no longer gonna leave vegetable production, because I saw that it made a huge difference, especially on the small scale that we are on for now. But we are already creating job opportunities for people around our areas, meaning we are now able to hire about 10 laborers in different times. Some are seasonal and then some are permanent. So my vision is that I want to grow. Like MEC said earlier on, that what can we do to move agriculture to another level? So my plan is to grow my production and then create more job opportunities for our people, and then also play a key role in the skills development in terms of the graduates and upcoming farmers that will be willing to venture into agriculture. I thank you.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. I also love what he said. He said when he started, he said to himself, let me do what I can with what I have. Let me do what I can with what I have. I got the opportunity to go to Botterville this year at the Nampo. Yo, those tractors are expensive. I can imagine being a beneficiary and getting a tractor. But it starts with doing what you can with what you have. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to move to the panel discussion where I have 4 professional farmers that we're going to have a conversation with. And after a few questions that I'm going to ask, you're also going to get an opportunity to ask them questions. So while they're talking, you can get ready, get your questions ready so that you can also ask them a few questions, maybe advices there and there, particularly for people who are still starting, you know, those challenges that you are coming across. So I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and what they do. So I'm going to start very close to me right here with Mr. Mtambo, and then I'll go to the ladies, then the gentleman on the other side. So, Madam Mtambo, first of all, welcome, and this stage is all yours. Can you just introduce yourself and let them know what you do?
Thank you very much. Ke bue Sotho. Le a tseba Sotho? All right. Thank you very much, Program Director. Bitso la ka nna ke Nkosana Mtambo. Ba bangata le tla ntseba ka Farm Boy. Trademark ya ka ke Farm Boy. Yeah, so ke nna ke sebetsa ka dikgomo, ke bile ke a jala, ke jala poone, bile ke jala dinawa, ke bile ke jaya le soya. Ke mane Friede, pakeng tsa Friede le Frankfurt N3 mane. Ke mo ke tlang teng, ke a leboha.
Round of applause, round of applause. Let's move right along to Ms. DeBrain, right? Ms. DeBrain, please introduce yourself and just let them know what you do.
Morning. Dumelang. Goeiemorgen. My name is Chantal DeBrain and from the Free State, based in the Free State. We specialize in agri-processing vegetable coffee made out of actual vegetables. And we currently farming in between Bloomspruit and Martindale.
Okay, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. While we move right along to Miss Mahlele, the stage is all yours.
Dumelang. Ka lebitso ke Reketseng Mahlele. Ke livestock and grain farmer. Ke sebetsa ka dikgomo tsa nama le dinku tsa boya le nama. Ke lema di-grains, ke lema sunflower, ke lema soya, ke lema le poone. Ke a leboha.
Thank you so much for the round of applause. Let's move right along to Mr. Mashao.
Dumelang. Nna ke Mojale Farmer Shao, ke farmer ka vepenare ka monana. Ra planta fodder, ka plasing, and then we are into beef production as well. We are farming Gaudi Bones Mara. Apart from that, the business, we have an agri-logistics business as well on the farm. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Mtambo. You know, oh, farm boy. So the Mtambo, give me the farm boy. I want to start with you. You know, first of all, I put up questions, you know, that I think are very important, you know, around, you know, farmers that are still starting and all that. So I'm going to jump them to you, and they'll also get a chance maybe to ask theirs as well. But with you, Ndadum Tambo, aka Farm Boy, I just want to start with compliance. You know, what are the most important documents that new farmers need to have so that they can comply?
Thank you for the good question. Well, one of the fundamental things to di hlokang ha o le sehwai kapa o qala kgwebo, I want to make it clear that farming is a business. Gone are those days where we'd say farming is for the old or farming is for the uneducated. First thing, I think we all know you must have an identity as South Africa, and I think you must register the company with CPIC. What are you trading as and under which category? It's very important. In a area, but like it or not, you must have a text. You must be a text. You must be a good, like myself. Utamelo patalel text or register with SARS. Ubajweto so na le kgwebo itjena le tjena o sebetsa ka ntho tse itseng. Thirdly, what tlameha record keeping. It's the most important thing in terms of compliance. Rona batho ba batjha, you'll remember hore ha re sa tshwana le pele re sebedisa di phone, but I always encourage my farm workers, or record keeping is the master key to master the system in farming. Another one, mostly here, and it's Youth Month, or register an account on your social media. Social media is a very powerful tool. It can break you and it can also make you. So I say it's part of compliance. Register your business on a social media page or platform where you will advertise your things. Gone are those days no, you can advertise through social media, but for compliance, those are the main things. So or the register how in the business of agriculture farming. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for Ndate Dambode. I'm going to move right into Mr. Mashao. My apologies. Listen, Mr. Mashao, you know, accidents happen, right? And a lot of things that are beyond our control happen. And in farming, there's quite a lot to protect. I mean, like I said, when I was at Nampo, I just realized these tractors are expensive. You know, I can imagine as a farmer losing your crop, you know, what then happens in that regard. This is a lot of money, like I said. When it comes to insurance, how does one go about, you know, making sure that they insure their things?
Okay. Insurance is a very important part of the business. But there are challenges there as well. Because now you must remember one of the main problems in the Free State is stock theft, for an example, followed by mechanization theft. Then you have wildfires, hails as well, they do come. So it would be very advisable and principled method for a farmer to go and ensure their livestock or whatever possession that they do have that is actually operating the business. But there's a few loopholes there, here and there. For an example, if ever you were to check throughout all the insurance companies, if ever you want to, an emerging farmer, of which I think most, 90% of people that are here, they are emerging farmers. There's a few that you can say that they are commercial in here. So for those emerging farmers, you'll find that 90% of them, they're not even breeders. For them to insure their livestock if ever it gets stolen. So they are not covered. So literally you are just insured if ever for acts of God. For example, if ever a lightning hits your car and then it dies. So apart from that, you're not covered. For guys that are planting hail, you'll be insured for that if it happens, and fires and things like that. But if ever you were to ask them, most of them, when last did that happen? And the cost that they incur between then and from the start, it's quite high. Hence, you'll find that most of the farmers, they are not insured. It's not by choice, but it's because of the business itself. You cannot have 20 cows and expect a farmer to insure those. Of which it comes back to what the MEC said earlier. For most of the people, especially the young people that are in here, fortunate or not, if it so happened that the lady that was here, those 10 cows, and it's a piso, if those 10 cows and the tractor get stolen tomorrow, or even now, since we are here,
Yeah.
she's not covered. She's definitely not covered, but she was funded. So it comes back to that question whereby the MEC said, if we fund you, we can't keep on funding you. You understand? How do you do that? So insurance is very important. I have to stress that. But the current dynamics of our business and the rate of development within these businesses or within the agricultural space, especially for young people, is not addressing such.
Look, with all that you said, I want to throw a question to you, maybe to any of the panelists who are here who's willing to answer. You know, is there such a thing as successful farming?
Successful farming. No one has a grip on it. There's a gentleman by the name of Ndate Madiba. He usually makes a joke and say, show me a retired farmer. You'll never see them. Yeah. So to say that there is a principle for a successful farm, agriculture, guys, it's a sphere that changes every day and now. Never mind the fact that we just came from COVID. The whole structure of business as we know it has changed. We are now facing the Russia-Ukraine saga. The whole sphere of the business has changed. So for one to say that you have a method that you can say that will produce a success throughout the farming lifestyle or life cycle, then maybe we'll have one.
Kibono smile when I asked that question. I just want to get your thought on it. Is there such though?
For me, successful farming is when you listen to your extension officer. Mine is right there in the Dimbele, and listening to him and him showing me how to farm professionally, because I used to farm Sesotho, Kibe fela jwalo. And me following his guidance, I've seen that successful farming is possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Brain, I just wanna jump to you. You prefer
It's
Chantel?
fine. No, it's fine.
Okay. But I just want to jump to you real quick. Look, I just want to know what inspired your coffee, and also maybe let's rather start with this question. You know, why butternut?
So I think I did not do justice to my introduction. But I specialize in product development, specifically to processing. And I come in where we take your product from ground level and produce it as an end product. And that is what I specialize in. And as well, not only just butternut, but we're also doing exotic butternuts. And part of our social impact part of the business is where we partner with local female farmers, and they would plant for us, and we would get a surplus amount from that. So that is just a social impact where we also do as a business. But butternut, we do not have butternut at home on our Sunday plates, whether it be a special occasion, your birthday celebration, there will always be a pumpkin or some sort of butternut right there. But There was a problem in our household, which was my grandfather. He was a good problem. We also big on coffee at home, but he was diagnosed with liver kidney infection due to all the caffeine that he's been intaking for the past 60 years. And as a problem solver, as an entrepreneur, farming as a small-scale farmer back then, and also in the innovative space, I thought, why can't we just give him something that he can and cannot have at the same time? And 60% of our world population in South Africa suffer, about 60% of them suffer from health chronic illnesses. And these are people suffering from heart diseases, liver kidney infection, high blood pressure, heart palpitations. If you would have a cup of coffee, it depends how your extreme is intaking, you would have those kind of effects that you would get. But with ours, it is a game changer. Stats SA did not only mention that we might be the world's first of its kind processing this vegetable coffee of its kind, but we really take pride in the testimonies and the value that we offer as a product. And why butternut coffee? It is a wholesome product, and it started off as a problem, and today it is solving the problem that we're facing in South Africa, not only in South Africa, but worldwide.
I hope you brought some for people to taste somewhere.
I think a few have. The panel here has tasted some. A few have. We're just trying to change the whole narrative game, and I think we're underestimating the coffee commodity because it is the 5th most highest traded commodity in the world. And it's also shown again, yet again, by Stats SA that it has the highest margins pertaining to your grains. And these are all from the enlightened people, if you're really fully informed about what's going on in the trading sector, in the commodities. Coffee is the highest, and we're underestimating it. You would get Ethiopian coffee on the shelves, Kenyan coffee on the shelves, which is very great coffee, but we are growing these things in South Africa, and we, Buttercup Farmers, is growing it, and we take pride in that, and also job value creation from it.
But I can imagine, like, you can go ahead and clap hands. I like that. But again, with all these things that you are saying, you know, and telling us about a coffee made out of butternut, you know, there should be challenges there in this journey. What challenges were there or are still there, and how are you overcoming that?
I'm passionate about agri-processing, but I think in agriculture, women do not only face an integral part of the economy in agriculture, we are also a vital force that drives the success of it behind the agriculture sector. There's a lot of challenges I can tell you that we've currently faced as a business, and one of them is lack of infrastructure and partnering with possible stakeholders that can help you uplift and take you forward. And the panel can maybe add on to that. What does lack of infrastructure do to a small emerging business? And if you're an emerging farmer, there's a lot of insurance that goes into it, there's a lot of compliance that goes into that, and we're not really informed about this beforehand. And that is why I think coming into the department, it should be a driving force where you get connected with someone as an extension officer to really guide and lead your pathway, because they're supposed to know yourself as a business and how we can help you grow. Another challenge is definitely access to market. We've recently been listed as a Food Lovers supplier, as along with Tiger Brands. Now we need to think wide open. We need infrastructure, we need a processing facility, we need to push the volume of the product. So this is where we come in and say, if you assist us, we assist the economy grow as emerging farmers.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in your responses, I can sense the amount of hard work that you put into all of this that you do. Ms. Matlele, you were dropping something there.
Yes, just to add on what Chantal said, and I'm going to be honest, I'm quite disappointed in the department for this event because Chantal's coffee should be the only beverage that's been served, that and water.
But there's still Women's Month coming, right?
No.
In August. But I wanna jump on you, Ms. Matlele, while you are at it. Let's touch on, you know, occupational inheritance, right? I believe your father was a farmer, and you are now into farming as well. did you always want to be a farmer, or it's something that you took from home?
My father is still a farmer. That guy's gonna die a farmer. Not really. I didn't like farming. But like a relentless boy trying to ask me out, that's what farming did to me. In Edulance, it sets a morale.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, let me try, go on a few dates. And I'm like, nah, it's not working for me. And then it will come back again until I fully embraced my inheritance. Because I feel like, re le batho ba batsho especially, we get judged for being legacies. You understand?
Yeah.
People think, ha ra sebeletsa dintho tse re nang le tsona. People think, re fuwe dintho ke batswadi ba rona. Nna ke tswa Botshabelo, and batho ba tswang Botshabelo ka mo ba tla o jwetsa hore nna ke mang. Growing up Botshabelo, ne ke tsebua ntate a na sebetsang le moradi wa hae. Dinku tsane tse rekiswang Fourways di qaduwe ke ntate wa ka. Ne ke dula moo ke di rekisa Thursday and Friday, and it hurts and it's quite disappointing when you've worked so hard your entire life and then people just come in and say no, o benefitile fela from ntate wa hao.
But how do you deal with those expectations? Maybe there's someone out there in the audience who's facing the same challenges that you were facing since you inherited from your father. How do you deal with those expectations and comparisons as well? You know, family, clients, they would like to compare, they would most probably compare you to your father and say, your father was doing this and, all of that. How do you deal with that?
I'm going to be very blunt. And ke buelela people up there, because ke a tseba teng, who are in my shoes right now, e leng di-legacies, ha se rona re itseng bo ntate ba rona ba re sebeletse.
You are right. For sure.
Yeah. And we're not going to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But now, what I have done, because my father is still a farmer. Ke na le polasi ya ka no, I'm on my own. Ke dula polasing ya ka full time. I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I just expanded my father's legacy.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And that is what all of you legacies out there, le tlameha le di etse hore le swabise batho bana ba buang hampe ka rona.
Round of applause. Round of
Ba sa
applause.
sebetse. Rona re sebetsa. Let me give you an example of nek sebetsa jwang.
Yeah. Make it very brief. Eh?
When my dad started farming,
Yeah.
he's a livestock farmer. Plus ya ine le nyane. And then abahira plus ye nngwe di-trusteng tsa Thabanchu, like about 70 kilos away from our farm. And then one day, ka re tlameha re tlose dikgomo tseo tsa hae ka maoto, re di tlose di-vet stop, re di ise polasing eo. Ne re tlohe ka 3 o'clock in the morning, ra fihla ka 12 midnight there. Ke utlwi ke hore ke bontshe hore re sebetsa ka thata jwang.
Round of applause. Round of applause. I want to jump to you, Mr. Mashao, because people here, the one question they kept on pumping that you could hear is funding this, funding that. How do we get funding? Maybe there's a way in which you should do it. Maybe you might advise one young farmer in there, or someone who's still starting. How do you advise a new farmer in applying for funding?
The first thing is for you to know what you want to do. That's one. Two, do your own research and identify possible markets. Then, today, we are here for a youth gathering. The department must not get irritated when receiving funding requests from young people. They must never, because that's their mandate. One, two, just like any other business, the department must know its constituents. I'll make a brief example. Like myself, I studied agriculture, CUT, worked ARC for 2 years, left ARC, worked at NERPO, facilitating Free State and Northern Cape for 2-3 years. And then I left in 2017, got the opportunity to be a farmer. So within that short time, that's about 5 years. Even if you liked, there wasn't much accumulated from my end. You understand? So hence I'm saying, the department is facing new generational farmers. You are dealing with new generational farmers. Whether you like it or not, these people are going to come to you for assistance. I like it, the department will do its bit, or assist. But now, you said you are a business person. Mtambo said it, farming is a business. We are not playing wishy-wishy here. It's a business, and you must treat it as such. So you'll first apply at your district. That's the process now. You'll apply at your district. They will request some sort of a business plan, or at least a business model. And then I heard one person was questioning about the Bayadi business plans. SIDA is there to assist as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then the district will take your application to the province. And then the province will deliberate on it, as far as I know. And then after that, then if ever it was successful, then you'll know. But adding on that, I want to actually give the provincial department heads up, or to say thanks in the way that they were actually doing this funding thing. Mind you, I was funded, I think the past 2 years, 2021, 2022, that's when I was funded. But I liked the way that they are actually doing or implementing funding. Because now, mind you, we have been spectators in this whole thing, farming. We saw there was this thing, even we speak to other guys in other provinces, whereby they are funded, yes, it's fine, but there is a middleman who's implementing their projects. That's a problem, because now, as a farmer, I know best what I need. I know best what I want and how I want it. What I don't have is the money. That's it. So, Free State, you sign a service level agreement. It's not a service, it's not a service level agreement. It's a transfer payment agreement, whereby I would go out and source quotations on my behalf, and then they will just help in terms of the payment and making sure that the deed is being done. So, to that extent, it worked. Now for me, it worked very good for me, because now the funding was made available after applying. As I'm saying, you must apply. And then I put the work. So it's good that you are clapping, but guys, we have to put the work, because if ever we don't put the work, we are messing it up for the guys that are coming behind us.
Yes.
We are messing it for the guys that are coming behind us, because 70% of you guys here are not like Mashelechele. We are first generational farmers. Now in my family, how na motho ana tseba ka kgomo ke nna ke tlang ka taba tsa dikgomo kore o ya bona
Nto ba etse bang kore ha ona le mesebetsi lapeng ba sheba wena go ba fe kgomo ne.
ha ke etse so now I would encourage us guys to say, the department, don't be irritated when we come. We have to come to you. There's nowhere we can go. You understand? Secondly, guys, when you get this funding, make it a point that you make it work. As in believe.
Yeah. No, definitely. Put in the work. Put in the work. Put in the work. Mr. Mdambo, there's probably a farmer here who wants to know, in their business, since you said farming is business, how do I know it's time to expand? You know, how do I know it's time for me to rent or buy, land or new machinery for that matter? How do I know that that time has come?
Thank you very much. Well, there's never a time to expand The sentiment is very simple. You don't put your eggs in one basket in farming. Uzoba nenkinga. You must diversify, like it or not. I heard the Utsepiso's testimony. It is a very good testimony, but she ought to work on diversification because currently the beef price is very, it pans. Beef farmers can attest to it. So if who put takamona ka who beef ubalela guy,
Yeah.
it goes back to my point. Ukasibe into za ukaha basket e le nngwe ngwaneso. Now, farming it's a business. I'll speak of myself, and I'm also a contractor. You know, lady harvester, the combine. Ke a contractor. I didn't say hore tracker right paka man itla later planting season. I did say let me utilize that tractor while in this season now sebetsa. Farming is a business. Ke kutajwa mo ka thoko mo ditropong ke a hirwa. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Ke diversification, that's the important. But motto, you must first what? Master the first business that you are doing. If you are a crop farmer, make sure you master it first before diversifying. But to batatela diversifier, ena isoka imachora, then you be tata on a long run. Have a way of managing it. Wabana hona check it utsimo. I'm sure ba harvest, but they can manage the system. Then I come back and say, but now that we master the system, how do we diversify? Then you look at the loopholes in the industry. There's one thing, a story that I want to tell you. I'm on the entry man from Harrismith. Ditapole diajalwa in my neighborhood MEC. Bajala ditapole. Then ba di package, ba di nke ba di se city DP Joburg. Then batho ba di shop mono ba tloe ba lo di stocka Joburg ba tlo di rekisa hona mo happy. Do you understand? So we ought to cut the value chain. Ha re ben le mmaraka kapa store sa rona where we store, because tapole e ke reka mane mabenkeleng ana a mabitso e hlaya mane plus nyeka next door mara e la lo qala Joburg ya phamiswa price ya khutla. So we ought to cut those things. Where do we come in, Runaba, to explore in terms of opportunities? Like the MEC said, or let us be odd. So yeah, so if you MEC appeal idea or restop the track at Sanditapola, the Saya Joburg, Lo Ahanto Habaman, the Rexeta Hodamon.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wanna allow you to also ask questions if you have any questions to any member of this panel. But just before, let me jump on to the ladies. As you know, my last question to you guys, as young female in agriculture in this province, right? How do you handle the challenges that you come across? The challenges that not only are directed to your business per se, but you being part of female farmers, you know, around the province. How do you handle the challenges that come through? I'll start with you, Chantal.
Thank you. So as the world's population grows, so does the need for agriculture. And as a female farmer specializing in coffee production, vegetable farming as well, yes, MEC, we are bringing a new game to the coffee industry. We are processing coffee made out of actual vegetables that is actually grown and made in South Africa, Bloemfontein. We take pride in that. But I think one of the challenges you can really overcome is just refine your research and development, work with your extension officer, because these people are our gateways to another new level and a chapter in our lives. We take pride in our extension officers. But also, I think just be openly honest about where you are as a business and what you want to focus on. As you can't by step the next level. You really need to refine and do your research on your product, and the development of it will grow.
Ms. Mahlele?
The challenges that I have personally faced as a woman in farming and a young one, I don't know why, you know, but it's a barrier, but I'm sure the up and coming ones ba mono, but I just want to tell them that it's going to be okay. And then access to markets. Like MEC, you were talking about you meeting with the Chinese, you met with the Qataris. I produce quality beef. My livestock, my khwane and surrounding, even my people, you know, I want to export my carcass. Right now, current beef is buying, and Chalma beef is buying my calves, but at a market price. Now the market uwile, and I feel like I'm selling them mahala. But if I can sell them overseas, sell them in dollars, then I can make good living. Expansion on we must move from here to here. If those markets, if women can be invited to such, it will be great help for us.
Round of applause for the ladies there. If you are out there and you have a question, can I please see you? Is there anyone who has a question to any? Okay, you can come closer, Grootman. Dadepedi.
Hello, guys. To Chantel, we've been talking, the whole day about creating a market, getting a market for your product. So I just want to ask Chantel, with regards to butternut, should a person, let's say a farmer here, have irrigation to plant butternut for you? Is there a market for the butternut? Will you be able to buy the butternut? That's my first question.
Thank you, Mr. Petty. So as part of our social impact in the business, we do mostly partner with female farmers, but if you come in and say we'd like to supply, because we've just been listed with Food Lovers Market and Tiger Brand, so now the supply is huge now. Now you need to come and we need to partner with every female, male farmer so that you plant a surplus amount for us and we buy for you. And then we start trading. Because the volumes are going up. We need the help of farmers. We need the help of infrastructure. We need the help of processing labs. I also just want to take this note that it really is not just about the females. There's males doing great work. And in Rwanda, they have capitalized on both male and female, where they're trying to actually downgrade the fact that, yes, women are being seen as a driven force, which is driving a success for the agri-processing sector, but the males are playing a dominating role, which we can merge together and help grow together. And for me, it's just a uniting culture in the farming sector. I take pride in Joseph and Solomon in the Bible, who were also farmers. Today, we are just living legacies, I think. That's where the legacy should come from. Successful farming, yes, I believe in successful farming. And we would not be telling stories today if we did not have a story to begin with. So you as a farmer, please do plant for us.
Any other question? Okay, there we go. Oh.
Yes, not only are we doing the coffee, but there's many product added ranges that we're also doing. There's your pastas, there's ice cream, there's a whole lot of things so we need a lot of pumpkins, we need butternuts. We need butternuts and milk cows. We need cows.
Okay, there goes another question.
Okay, lebo. Na ka lebitso ke setjhaba. Potso ya ka e lebile ho lona le le 4. Now you guys are being funded. What are you doing back to the community? What I'm saying kore re bangata re ka fumana funding. So go tshwantse Mr. MEC ibe must ya hore motho o fiele se 10 ya dinku le mo setlang a thuse motjha imong ho minimize hore mosebetsi wa the department o ska ba mongata. Ke a leboha.
Okay, who's going to jump on it first?
Ntho e setjhaba e buang ke ntho e ntle haholo. Haholo e seng hanyane. For an example, I'm in the beef space. What you are saying, that's what I want to do with all of my heart, my brother. And it's the right thing to do. We leave no one behind. That should be the case. But sitting where I'm sitting now, as I've disclosed that I was funded 21, 22. You see, a business, it's my business. Ke Dilex, I have a primary production ya di kgomo, ne? And then I'm doing fodder. And then I have an agri-logistics company. So on the agri-logistics company, already there's a young person employed who's driving that. That's why I always say, my farm, I'm a young person, and most of the people that I have employed are young people. So I don't compromise on that. But into Ibuang, ke a batla hore ke ipone ke fa motho o mong. Like about dikgomo tse 10, man, to say my auntie or my sister, here you are, start something. But now, in terms of production, I cannot do it. Because even if the MEC and the team can go back and revisit my business model for that farm, since from inception, on that, I'm farming on 868 hectares of land. 200 of that land is under fodder production. I'm farming with 80 cattle. 30 of those 80, they are rented, because now I had to go to private, get production, increase a bit of my production and income. But it's a standard, we know. You can visit RPO, you can visit NERPO, they will tell you. For a farmer who's in a red meat production business or a beef production, for us to say to you, you are sustainable, you must have 150 animals. I'm not there yet. So that's why I'm saying it would be wrong for one to, from a distance you'd think, hey, Mashao Marie is a commercial farmer. Chief, I'm not. But given the opportunity, given the request that I've made for this financial year, if ever I would reach that level, knowing you, I think you'd be the first that I would assist. I'm committing myself now.
Just to add on that, sorry.
Yeah.
I love the question that was asked now, but let us bear something in mind here. We are in agriculture. The masterpiece here, the formula is patience, and you wait. The biggest problem, I see a lot of young people, man. And you are going to have a problem. Let me tell you, you must gate crash. So that's where you're going to learn from. But MEC Moralo, private sector initiative, we want to do that. But bear in mind, we are first generation farmers, are not the relevant or enough resources. But this is a mandate. We can commit ourselves and take oath and say, from now on, re kopa di university re sebedisane le tsona, bana ba sekolo ba tlo etsa di intake dipolasing tsa rona. We want that, but ha ba fitla dipolasing, ha re na the relevant equipment. So to answer you, my brother, this is things that are on our pipeline. Or from next year, we want to say, MEC, a ko mfe ba i-10 fela ba hlokang ho jalwa dikadine, ke tla romela trekere ke tlo fetola mobu. This is what we want to do. But Sesotho se re ho thuswa ke qetile.
Any of the ladies want to add something there?
Ke ne ke batla to make clear of le nna ke thusitswe le moshawa ka financial year 2021. But just to make clear, re thusitswe ka infrastructure plasing. Nna ya ka ebile ne sena le shed, my tractors ne di robala ka ntle and stuff like that. Ke a thuswa ka di sheep handling facilities. So ha ho to refundiwe, it doesn't mean re reketse dikgomo tse 50 or tse 100. Now we are in a position where we can be able to share, right? But now on my part, Botshabelo, no, I'm based in Brantford, but Botshabelo, nale my father, the principal ene rile ga sebetsa le ena hantle. Sometimes child care feeding scheme immoral. And then wa re founela re, I'm sitting with this predicament, bana ba tlo kgona ho ja for 2 weeks, and then ke re okay ke nna yo ke tlo reka dijo because of re hlonolofetse. Ke a leboha.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anyone who still have a question to any of the panelists? Okay, awesome. Huh? There's one. Okay. Yeah, you can come through. Hey, lighting Cyril and Jaga. Hey, I can win next. I can win it. Oh, there's actually two. I think both of them can come. Both of them can come so that. Let's just take two, and then we'll take the last two, and then so that we can wrap it up.
Potso ya ka e wena ngwaneso. Ke batla ho e beha ka Sesothonyana because it gets eba overwhelming nyana at some point. Jwalo ka wena ke tshwana le wena ke motjha e le horeng o ntsa farmer somewhere nala. But the problem is o nkile nako e kae hore maybe o kgone hore o fumane space se o farmang ho sona, ne? Because rona mo re leng teng se re na le over 5 years ntse re leka ho kopa maybe masepala. So ntho re batlang ho utlwa ko re na ebe agriculture yona itself ina le mokgwa o ka go thusang jwang hore o speed up the process, especially ha e se le hore o na le di maybe bontate mohwang, let me put it like that, be leng ba o thusa, but now ha ona ntho ba ka etsang towards masepala.
Okay.
Dumelang batswadi.
To the panelists, let's just allow maybe 2 questions, and then we'll respond thereafter.
Dumelang batswadi, ke Mabaso ho tswa Bothaville. Ke founder ya Mabaso Farming Enterprise. Ke primary producer ngwana me. Ke tlo qala ka hore ke farmer by force. Ko re tswang ha re thole di contract ne? Which means the challenges tse re kopanang le tsona re di farmer di different. Way different. Ngwana me ke tsebo access one land but it's fine. Ko re tswang I'm farming by force. Ke a lwana. They try to ban like mobung wa masepala wa rona. I'm fighting. Ke dua jere kwa every day, ne? And linda to wa tseba. If you are a farmer that wa wa tseba go per hectare ha re sa sebetsa ka di 8,000 rand per hectare. So ke utlwa bohloko ke utlwa ho thwe is go get it. As a business person you must start now. What do you start with? On the 8,000 now ne ke bontsha motswalla ka jere. Now ho tlile information ya hore in order to get more you need to use on a maize plus or minus 15,000 rand per hectare. As a young farmer, where do I get that? Because now re lwana ka di funding dula re supana ga menwana ne bontate ba itse ba dua ba fundua bontate ba itse dua ba fundua re kopana le di very different di challenges mo life in tsa rona re le batjha ba bangata mona na ba bang ba qadile batho ba tse go ba ya jwang pele. I'm very pleased hore Grain SA ya leka go thusa but it's not helping. It's trying but it's not helping. In this business agriculture, a time is most crucial thing ever. If you start planter in November, it's good, but how to December, the yield is going down. So, le khonne jang ho be access land e re lwanelang ha kana kana bondate. Ke a leboha.
Okay, Nademasha, I think let's start with you. Just be brief as well in your response.
All right.
You'll answer? Okay.
Okay. Taba ya land ya ntate ke re ne le land ya pele ya Khotmane la. Nna ke nahana hore ke bile like ya holo. Kopa re hopoleng hore I think it was Googling Quinty during his time as the minister. He had what we call land committees, if I'm not mistaken. In these land committees, of which they were actually presiding over handout ya maplasi anana. We had the likes of Afasa was there, Nerpo. Was part of the panel. Ya Moshaneki interviewer for Plus. So na Plus Haleki applied I completed my BTech 2015, if not 14, if I'm not mistaken. And then by that time I was already working co ARC, but I had already applied. You understand? So it took legislation under the then minister Moshanari is going to prioritize youth and females. I think we were the first group in 2017, myself and another gentleman by the surname of Kakisho Madikhetla, if I'm not mistaken, in the Free State. So I was luck-stricken. I can easily put it that way. Yeah. But the sentiments that they are actually saying, they are true. But now it's an issue the provincial Department of Agriculture. You can never distance the provincial department from land issues. I'm glad that the two departments have been joined, but our municipalities should be engaged as well. From Kokta, the MEC of Kokta must be called, because I feel tabaya issue ya land esokolwang ke batho ba batjha. E tlamehile the MEC wa provincial wa agriculture are ha kena budget. Kore e tlamehile yena are ha kena budget, but for us to get land, it shouldn't be that big of an issue, because land is there. We know of many hectares within different municipalities. I was involved in some of the inquests, I think. I can give you a simple example. Mokhaka. By the 10, there was a gentleman by the name of Hadia Mpo. I think he was the mayor by that time. We identified plus or minus 10 farms that could have been handed out. But with that be as it may, he was out and then a new person came in. So there should be follow-up. That's all I'm saying. One, engagement between Kokta and the department. Number 3, guys, the sooner we are organized, the better we can hold the MEC at ransom, and then he can be at the position I am Kokta are mona. But at the moment we are working in silos. Pedi ke ane mane, nosi ke ane mane, bafana ke ane mane. So we need to be organized, guys. The sooner, the better.
You know what? Because of time, there are people that. No. I'm going to definitely allow you. The people that wanted to ask questions, unfortunately, we're going to have to, cut all that short, because the MEC still needs to do his closing statement, and also, there are other things that are coming. There's DJ Finzo coming as well. So, what I want to do right now, right? Chantel, I'm going to allow you to give us your closing remarks, and then Mema Hlele you'll also do the closing remarks, and then we'll then move into the MEC's closing statement.
Honorable Mr. MEC and Program Director, I just want to tell the gentleman that we're still waiting for land for the past 6 to 7 years. I constantly go year in, year out, still waiting for land. It's not an easy process, but I will tackle that's when I walked into the department 6, 7 years ago, 5. I met an extension officer that really grabbed me by the hand. And I think they need to get to know your struggles, and I'm sure you've got a lot of them. Let them help you with your way up, and we will get there one day. In closing, I would just like to say that agriculture is an occupational destiny sector. The more we grow together and the more we really make it work, it can be a sector that will really change lives. Thank you.
Ms. Mahlele, your closing remarks?
My closing remarks are directed at the MEC. I would like to say thank you, MEC, for taking the baton from our former MEC and just running with it. I want to thank you, Rabona. Like, you are out there, you want to make changes for our youth, for women, and we are grateful for that. And because now it's a got yeah. National came to visit me at the farm, and then kababutsa bothata ba ka ke trekere. And then ka fuwa grant ya 750,000 hore ke reke trekere. And then I wrote to Dr. Masiteng and said, ke na le planter ya John Deere, e batla trekere ya John Deere. Ke kopa we top up because trekere ke batlang ke 1.1 million. Ke ithekele trekere yo. Dr. Masiteng ile ke yona fitla hantle. Approve lengolo la ka ka ithekela trekere ya John Deere. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Mtambo is holding me ransom. He wants to give his final remarks as well. So, Madam Tam, over to you.
No, I just want to say thank you. You know, the word thank you means a lot. MEC, congratulations in that on your 100 days in office. Yasa boning hana mahlo rona re a bona ntate. Se re tla se etsa fela re tlo etsa mosebetsi wa bobebe re tlo tsheetsa ntate re a utlwisisa o keke wa re thusa kaofela ka nako e one but le rona mo re kgona o kenya letsoho re tla o thusa from my panelist ba heso ke a leboha batho ba batjha ha re tloleng di shortcut re tshware itie ke a leboha thank you.
Thank you so much for the round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, with that very same energy of round of applause, let's bring back the MEC back on stage to give his closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Rekera John Deere, thank you very much. At least the issue he was here to hear about Mosebetsi wa Rekera John Deere. But I think if you are giving me this, let me top it up and then get this. O monga ba itse ka ipokotela. Ba nrekela ke tla zama ke bona hore di kopana jwang. So look, the truth is there's a lot of work done to get our people into the agricultural space. We must never miss that point. We have made a lot of progress since the dawn of democracy, but there's more to be done. When you are a pioneer, it means you are leading the path. Agarbariki the first generation farmers. So these are pioneers who are leading a path that no one in their families and probably no one amongst particularly historically disadvantaged have ever done this in our country. So the burden they carry and the burden those who wants to follow into their footsteps is a burden that they must understand is not a path easily walked by our people. Including the white farmers, they will tell you about agriculture. And they will express the same sentiment. It's patience, it's hard work, it's commitment, it's dedication. And there will be difficulties we meet with along the way. You must have a big heart to deal with them. The only sentiment that I think we need to just rebut a little bit is the sentiment of entitlement. They are not entitled to anything. What you might be entitled, in fact, what you are entitled to is for your country to create the necessarily enabling environment for you to fulfill your potential and use that potential to carry your nation behind. Your dream and your success is what you use to carry your nation behind and prepare for the ones coming after you. I hope I'm putting it well so that we can understand. So, haiyo ntoto tlaone silver platter. Never. Haiyo. If you let them and tell me if you'll still have it the following day. So I usually tell a story. In fact, I said a story to the graduates that you guys are like, some of you government took to school. We are not taken to school by government. Actually, I'm still financing my own studies today. I fought for free education, but I never got to enjoy it. Some people got to go to school free and was outside the country. We never got to be funded by government in many other industries that people are doing. You have that opportunity because you occupy a unique space that has got to ensure food security for our people. An industry that if we handle it well, will achieve wonders. But it's a challenge throughout the world. It requires what? Necessary tools at our disposal. That is our job to provide those tools. We'll intervene in the plight of others, but will not intervene in the plight of all. But we expect the relay to help each other and inspire each other. He can deal with cattle, she can deal with cattle, but somebody can deal with something else. That's when you unlock the value chain. There's a gentleman who says, no, I've got the technology to help to combat stock theft. That's what we need. So that their investment can be secured. And when they secure their investment, there's better technology to protect that suit. Somebody then deals with the insurance because it's a big problem. So you need to understand the relay. Now, when you fight for land, we all need land. But there's many competing interests. Municipalities, they've got land, they need land for human settlement purposes. And they usually buy land. Some they will immediately develop, others they will develop them 10 years down the line. A go-getter will say, Mr. Municipality, Mrs. Municipality, can you give me this land for 5 years that I can use and grow myself? Within that 5 years, I think I can accumulate to go and acquire my own. Now, you get to realize your dream as you try to solve some of the long-term questions. 2, there's a lot of idling land, their land reform. Some of the people who benefited from that process are not using that land productively. In fact, others are not using it at all. And farmers have gone now to begin to lease from that land. You find those lock them into long lease. But we're also coming for them because that was to be used for agricultural purposes, not what they are doing. Others were told now you are struggling to locate who the real owners are. Others are locked into many serious legal battles. So the fight between yourselves and municipalities, yes, but help to find a solution. Because at some point, you will put 150 of your cattle in the municipal land and there will be houses next door. You're going to be sitting with the problems of stock theft immediately and the shortage of the grazing space. So I'm just trying to use these issues to say there are many challenges we have. We don't have to complain about the challenges. How do we hold each other's hands and find solution to the problem? I usually make this example that one of my passion has been information technology. I'm a sound guy. I deal with sound screens and so on. I no longer do that because of government. But we started in a small garage with only 2 small speakers. We were not funded by anyone else. We started there and we pushed. We're not asking for favors. We pushed, we fought, we self-taught, we learned. And we grew. There were challenges and so on. But we knew that what we wanted and we were determined. Now, that determination made us to push even at the point when others were saying there's no point, we are not being supported. At no point have I ever heard government saying we need to support this industry. It's only now that they're beginning to say that. It's a high-tech, high-level industry to get you to be on air, live, clean feed, get the nation to see you and have an interactive session. It's not a small play. It's not a child's play. It requires a skill you don't have, including institutions to do that. But what should we do as pioneers? You lead the way and others follow you. So you carry them behind your back. So we are going to work with yourselves. No entitlement. Hard work, commitment. We support that. We're going to open doors for you. But lead us even to the doors we don't know you want us to help you to open. Don't demand, no, this door must be open for me, then I can just walk through. It's not going to work. You're not going to win. And learn from those who have been there before. Go to them. If I'm them, I will not give you. I will go to them and say, let me learn how you did it. Let me learn how you did it. Let me buy one and see what I can do with it. Once you come with that attitude, you will get it right. And look, there are serious settlers. There's a guy we gave a tractor in Castell. That guy is it about probably 2 or 5 hectares. I elicited from the people who benefited from land reform beneficiaries. They were not doing anything with it. It was leased to him, some couple of guys and some white farmers, and they're doing well there. Through his hustle, when we give him the tractor, the landowners now have got stories. Lack of cooperation and appreciation of one another is a big problem. So we meet there with a very beautiful lady, dressed nicely, and I said, is she a farmer? Then I learned later to say, no, she's one of the beneficiaries. Because of the assistance brought to this guy, they are beginning to pile issues to the fellow, and I said, we're going to collapse him. But my worst fear is that he's going to run away from your land to go and lease somewhere else, instead of working with him to work on the bigger portion that you have that is idly. And I said, as I parted ways, a farmer is on a farm 7 days a week. Once I see you, ke kopana le wena ka hara mall on a Saturday, o le motle, or o le handsome, I just shake my head and say, we're in trouble. A farmer, hayi molling a le motle on a Saturday. A farmer wait for us who are non-farmers to go to the mall, really batle re siye tšhelete ya hae moo, a khutla collect. That's what a farmer does. A farmer, we emela nna ke nke mme, ke ye le yena ko moleng, ke lo reka di-produce tsa hao, ke siye tšhelete ya hao moo, o tlo tlo e collect. If o ko thola ko moleng, o swapile di-roles. Because ke batla o jaka Sonntag, ke batla o jaka Mandag, ke batla o jaka Labobedi. O kala kae? O kala plasi. That's what you do. Because you are a producer. You can't be mixing your roles. Absolutely, you can't be mixing your roles. We are not saying don't go to the malls, don't get me wrong. We are not saying we are not saying that. Do that, but as I close, Scala Sonal about 2020 tender print is not a nice way. Don't be. Because genuinely government gives them jobs. You see the most expensive German sedans immediately. There's no investment into the productive capacity of their enterprises. And had they done that, we'll be far. If an regular expensive German sedans, you will not be having what you have, all of you. Tell me if you can part 2 million buying a car that will just drive on the roads, or will invest that money into your productive spaces. Thank you very much. So when we are being criticized, Hore Repeka, Lamborghini, Kotabu, you are actually parking 4 million outside. You are parking 4 million. In fact, you are paying to maintain that 4 million on the road. And then I get like a bicycle, I can't get sorry, I get the crampe, well, or the 4 million, matati. But it is 4 million you are parading on the road, which should be 4 million into a factory that employs people, grows our economy, and makes you a better person tomorrow. That has got to be the attitude. So the days of consumption without production are over. Let's produce, let others to consume, because what we need to grow ourselves, our country. We need to develop ourselves economically and otherwise. Thank you very much, guys. The journey ahead is too tough, but we'll conquer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MEC. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program, but there's a few announcements just before I let you go. The first one, Mr. Tandoloetu Kambule. We've got your wallet here with your IDs and your driver's licenses. So you can just come and pick it up from me just after we finish. And then number two, you are kindly, everyone in here, you are kindly asked to stay seated where you are. Food will be served just right there where you are. So the food will be brought this side. instead of everyone getting up and going to the other side. And also, we have DJ Finzo on the ones and twos. Round of applause for DJ Finzo. And that means introducing DJ Finzo, that means that's where it also ends for me. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Big Zo P, the greatest, and DJ Finzo, over to you.